Now, Hillary Clinton has been out of the spotlight for a while, which is great. I would prefer that she just never shows up ever again. But unfortunately, she decided to go on MSDNC earlier this week. Boy, did she have a lot to say, and it wasn't anything good that she was talking about. But we have to discuss it because this is another example of why I must constantly remind people that you will never get anywhere supporting the Democratic Party. Waste of time, waste of money, waste of effort. Don't bother. It's a dead end, and this is a reason why.
Proud of the fact that we have always been a work in progress. You know, we haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. Mm-hmm. And people have been protesting, you know, for hundreds of years that, you know, things were not as they should be given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, you know, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain...
They just don't get it. And it's not even a question of whether she gets it or not. Honestly, I just think that she's just a shit stirrer. I think that she really enjoys having people hate her. I think she enjoys being the villain. A villain that knows better, at least in her own mind. But here, let me spit on Charlie Kirk's grave and everyone else that supports him by saying that it's people like Charlie that have hurt our country. And essentially implying that what happened to him was a good thing. Now, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But who asked her for hers? That's what I want to know. Who asked her for hers? And by the way, very important, if you guys enjoy our channel, I do not want to forget about this. This is very important. If you're concerned about whether or not our channel is able to succeed, I want you all to do me a huge solid. And please make sure that you subscribe to Revolutionary Change on Rumble. That is the name of the channel. So if you have the Rumble app or if you have it online, Revolutionary Change on Rumble. Make sure that you head over there if you can and subscribe. Why? Because if I start talking like this about Hillary Clinton, who's to say we're not getting flagged? Talk about the person you're really not supposed to talk about. This is the third rail. And we're crossing it. So hang on tight. She's got more to say.
Point of view, a certain ideology. It's just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, you know, bumps along the way, but I agree with you. We were on the right trajectory.
Really? Who was putting us on that right trajectory? Because I'm still wondering how the hell we are even on a path to any type of success since JFK's assassination. We were on the path to trajectory that was a good thing? From who? What the fuck have we gotten in this country that actually has us on that right trajectory? What did you do? The only legacy you have as a senator, of which you were only able to get elected for two reasons. One, JFK Jr. died in a plane crash, and that's all I'm going to say. And you ran for the Senate while you were the sitting First Lady of the United States. You get in there and you proceed to pass policy that could only be described as an ultra warhawk of the worst kind. And then you get into the Secretary of State position, and your legacy is not just Benghazi, it's everything. It is every war. It could be Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, obviously Libya, Syria. You wanted that war with Iran. You might just get it. What trajectory were we on exactly that was so great? Oh, and I forgot one other thing. The other part of your legacy that you will be remembered for, you rigged a presidential primary and got Donald Trump elected as a result. That's your legacy. And you've earned it, baby. But if you think we're done, oh, no, no, no. We're just getting started. There is a lot more shit that is going to come out of her mouth. And this one is a real doozy. But it is especially pertinent to this moment. Why? Because, as I just alluded to, Hillary loves war. That's probably her favorite thing in the world. Getting people killed in ways that do not actually affect her personally. Because she's never in danger, as far as we know.
I have to say, Joe, I welcomed what the president said yesterday. I thought that given all the back and forth that we have seen and heard at Anchorage and elsewhere,
I think Ukraine, with the support of European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Ukraine would be able to take back their country in its original form, and who knows, maybe even go further than that. Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act. You know, when I said when I first got in that I was going to end the war in Ukraine on day one, yeah, I couldn't keep my promises because that's not what I do. So, of course, as a result, you have the queen bitch herself praising him for this statement, because why else wouldn't she?
His coming to grips with the fact that Vladimir Putin does not respond to any kind of rhetoric. He only responds to strength. And you have to show strength, you have to back strength, you have to be strong in order to deal with him. And he poses a clear and present danger to all of Europe and therefore to the United States. And I think if what President Trump said yesterday is, if we help Ukraine, Ukraine can hold the line and may even be able to push Russia back.
You think if we sent Chelsea Clinton off to the front lines in Kyiv that she would have the same things to say? Spoiler alert, yes, she would.
And there was a very interesting comment that Trump made in his Truth Social post. He said, you know, what kind of military does Russia have?
Exactly.
They couldn't even take over Ukraine. This has been a...
The reason why Russia has not taken over in Ukraine, or at least part of Ukraine, the answer is, well, actually, they have taken over part of it. The only reason it hasn't happened is because we are fighting a proxy war that no one wants to talk about. We have troops over there. We also have military contractors looking to get their hands on as much of the territory as possible. Why? Because as we have pointed out time and again, there is about 8 trillion with a T worth of natural resources in Western Ukraine, and that is why we want to suck them into NATO, so we can control it. And Putin says no. And this is in large part why BRICS is becoming so powerful and influential. Because they want to work together. They want to form alliances that actually make it so that it's valuable. We have a clip that is going to drop in less than 2 hours that is going to describe exactly what this is all about related to this so-called Arab NATO that is forming right now. And it's forming because of people like this. Because of shitbags like Hillary Clinton, who just don't know when to stay the fuck out of public life.
Point I've been trying to make now for a long time. We overestimated Russia's military strength.
Can I ask you a question?
And now we're seeing that they can be pushed back.
Really? I mean, if only we had Hillary Clinton as president of the United States, am I right? What a nightmare. But I'll tell you, having opinions about whether or not she should have anything to say And whether we care enough, well, boy, if you thought things were bad with Trump, you wait to hear what this lady has to say regarding whether or not censorship is a good thing.
Good Lord, the things that have been said about me, the lies that have been propagated. If I had only known, I could call up the FCC chair and say, take this person off the air. Get that person out of my sight, off with his head.
Yeah.
Now, I know everyone thinks that she's kidding, but trust me when I tell you, her way of suggesting that she's kidding is actually her way of saying, man, if only I did have that power. Off with his head. I mean, I wasn't implying that she wouldn't conduct, people say that Trump conducts business as a king. Is there anyone who thinks that Hillary Clinton would not be conducting business as a queen if she did not get to the White House? Thankfully, her term would be over now if we had to deal with two of them. But, Lord knows, I don't know what to say. I just know that she sits around thinking, if only I had that amount of power, the things I could get away with. That meme of Hillary with the clamps of the hands together? Well, it's obvious. She wishes that she could do this type of destruction. Oh, Trump is such an amateur. If I had that power, you'd really see what it's like to rain hell, fire, and brimstone over everybody. And I would do it. Gleefully, I might add.
Looking at Joe.
What?
Yeah,
What? I've done nothing but be kind to you.
Well, once you saw the light, I mean, what sort of...
I mean, if that's not a nervous laugh from Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I don't know what is. Well, you finally saw the light. You didn't see it fast enough. I might still have to do something about it. That's what she's thinking. Now, I know you're all probably sick and tired of hearing her at this point, and Lord knows I am too. But I will tell you guys, believe it or not, there is a reason why she went on with Morning Joe. And it had nothing to do with what that commentary was all about just now. It isn't about censorship. It isn't about war in Ukraine. And it isn't about Charlie Kirk. No. This is why she went on with Morning Joe.
There's a lot of those conversations going on. I'm at the Clinton Global Initiative, and what we're doing there is focusing on the big gaps that are being left in humanitarian aid, in support for climate resilience, and trying to keep ladders going for economic opportunity, the kinds of things that, my husband and I have spent much of our life doing. And
there it is. So essentially what she is saying, if you're paying attention, the intention of her meeting or appearance on Morning Joe was to talk about the Clinton Global Initiative and how it's going to take over for USAID. Ain't that sweet? As if you could not kill this cockroach. As if no one learned anything about the Clinton Foundation and what they did in Haiti. That alone should be enough to say, why would anyone ever give them support ever again? And this is what she's talking about? This should scare the ever-living shit out of everybody. They're never going away. And yes, Chelsea Clinton is going to run for Congress for Jerry Nadler's seat that he's vacating at the end of this term. They're not leaving, guys, unless we do something about it. Do not feed into this. Let everybody know what she's up to. The Clinton Global Initiative never went away. It was just waiting for its opportunity. And how did he do that? Well, it's funny, but last I checked, the Clintons and the Trumps are probably still cordial with each other. And so by cutting USAID funding, now you privatize it. And who privatized it? Trump. And who is he giving it to? Hillary fucking Clinton. It's a small club and you're not invited.
There we're talking to leaders who have come to CGI about, okay, the United States is no longer our partner. USAID has been, totally destroyed. How do we fill the gaps? And, I just want to say today at CGI, my husband will be making this really important announcement because
if I'm going to make a really important announcement about Hillary Clinton, it's to say that I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Somebody save me, for the love of God. I can't be near her anymore. Please save me before I croak or she croaks me, if you catch my drift. That's what I have to say. So that's my speech. I hope you enjoyed it. And bye.
There's a new drug called lenacapavir, which is an injectable. You take it twice a year. It prevents HIV and AIDS. Wow. And so it's very expensive in the United States, but the
amazing thing is, if I remember correctly, I believe that the Clinton Global Initiative, when they were involved in Haiti, I believe one part of that had to do with dealing with the AIDS epidemic that was going on there. So they're still up to their old tricks. They're still doing the same bullshit. Nothing's changed. As I said, when it comes to the Democratic Party, they still hold the levers of power. Do not resuscitate. Let them go. If they're going to go, they're going with her. That is a very appropriate profile picture for such a statement, and I highly doubt that there are too many people here who are old enough to even know what that is a reference to. But if you are not familiar with Bud Dwyer, I would say look it up after the live stream. You don't want to do it now.
Clinton Health Access Initiative, which Bill started 25 years ago, along with working on these issues with Nelson Mandela and others, and then with George W. Bush, they've gotten the price down to $40 a year from.
Everything is about money. Everything is about power, no matter where or when they have it. I would ask each and every one of you to ask yourself point blank, if it was Hillary Clinton that ran this country instead of Donald Trump, do you really think we'd be better off? Or is there a good chance that we might actually be worse?